Welcome to the first mini-series of Fill Her Up, brought to you by Dollhouse Phil and the Migtown podcast.
I mean, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. Yeah, look, Tim is here in the house. We got none other, the legend himself, the man who has supplied the vessel, the very creatures that make man go and bust nuts without a headache and without a court case. Dollhouse Phil himself. Phil, what the fuck is up from England, man?
It's business is as usual over here. Very little in the way of Mexican beer restrictions, but it's just par for the course over here.
All restrictions dropped on Thursday. Any remaining health restrictions are done.
Well, the weird thing is, though, we've still got a demographic of people who want everyone to look at them and say, that's a very good boy, girl, beast, whatever they consider themselves at. And they'll still be wearing like 3 masks and stuff like that. But they are in the minority now, though.
That's thankful. We're thankful for that. Our mask mandate in Alberta is done next week, March 1st. We are we're going to be unleashed. We've already ended the vaccine passport program here. It had nothing to do with the truckers. That every politician will say we did not give in to the truckers. But
of course,
it's weird because they all said, well, maybe by the summer we'll open back up. No, it's next week.
Suspicious timing there.
So, yeah.
Suspicious.
Follow the science, Anna. How dare you?
I mean, wait, if you're above San Diego, you're free at this point. You're unmasked. The only place that isn't free in California is Los Angeles.
By the way, Drex, we have another guest in studio who's not on camera right now because reasons. But who else do we have?
This gentleman that I'm about to introduce is unlike any other gentleman we've ever had on the show before. So, as you guys know, every man, every woman, every trans creature,
and
every dog, every mammal has limits. We all have limits, right? God created limits on human beings for one reason and one reason only. That you were never fucked up and degenerate enough to go down a Pornhub rabbit hole to find goblin amputee porn. But this man that I bring to you, this legend, this denizen, is none other than Koopa, the Goblin Degenerate. Koopa, the Goblin Layer. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and what are they saying now? Attack helicopters. Hello, attack helicopters. It's Koopa, the Goblin Degenerate. I've been breaking Drexel and Tim with random memes during their show, and it's been the funnest time I've had ever since I joined the Migtown podcast.
I mean, Koopa, how does it feel for you to enter into a realm where your degeneracy is encouraged, mocked, and encouraged yet again because we want you to go further into this world that you've built?
It's a breath of fresh air.
That's what we like to hear.
Finally, just be awful, be a degenerate.
Well, we have someone. Well, Koopa, we have a special guest here to mock your degeneracy. We have none other than the painting mistress of Star Wars land herself, Anna, that Star Wars girl. Anna,
hello,
what is up?
Hello, this is going to be an interesting evening. I'm excited to hear this story.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Yeah.
We got some simps here in the chat.
There's a lot of simps in the chat, Anna. There's a lot of simps. There's a lot of claps back there.
Thank you.
Oh, believe me, the Koopa's done a lot of clapping too.
So Anna,
yes,
I hate to admit this, but even though they can't see you on stream, there were enough guys who watched Princess Leia in the slave costume in episode 6. Now, they used to have fantasies, and then those fantasies stopped by the time the special editions came out.
Drexel, be honest. A lot of guys just decided to name their right hand Leia.
Yeah, they just named him. Yeah, it is what it is. They took the L permanently. But now something has happened, Anna. By you being here, they now are going to have this idea pop in their head. They're going to look at you, listen to Koopa, and look at Phil, and look at the doll behind Phil, and realize, I can have that. I can have my own Leia, whether she's full size or goblin size. And now you're about to witness this degeneracy. We even have pictures of this creature that have been sent to us by our resident degenerate. Tim, put it on the screen so Anna can see this filth. A man who should be shamed each and every day of his life for falling down the rabbit hole.
I have no regrets.
All right, where can I see this photo?
All right, let's see if I can make this happen without fuck. Well, Drex, it's gonna show you're in my private chat, but there's nothing in there that we don't want. Yeah, there's nothing there that because I did not download all the photos.
Oh,
I can stream. I should be able to make that
Are
bigger.
you're gonna stream it? Okay. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look at this.
So, are you all seeing that?
No. Where do I look?
Oh,
yeah,
so you'll notice that I went live. So you should be able to click on my name and see my screen.
Oh, she's got an outfit and everything.
Oh. And
yeah, that was the one Phil wonderfully advertised to me during a live stream, actually. Well, it was I think the second live stream where you had RPM on, and Phil was like, "We do goblins at the Dollhouse." The next thing you know, I get tagged on the live Q. That wasn't the live Q&A. It was the Tyrone text, and he just says, "Koopa, does this tickle your fancy?" And I said, "Yeah, that tickles my fancy. That tickles my fancy. Very ticklish."
Oh my god. Yeah, I would imagine Koopa's eyes lit up. Phil, you remember Dick's reaction when you told him you could put 3 boobs on a doll, right? And you just saw this man go.
Yeah, his jaw dropped, didn't it?
Yeah, and his eyes just lit up, and I imagine Koopa had a similar reaction. And then I got one last. There you go. So Phil, that's the one. That was the model that you sent him, and Koopa, is this one the actual honey?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, the silver hair. Is that silver hair?
It's silver hair. I went out of this world because her nips and badge are not natural color. They're blue. Which you can color the badge and the nips.
Phil can take you to heaven, as we've learned.
So you chose blue.
Yeah, my favorite color.
Well, the artist in me would ask, like, what kind of blue, like ultramarine or like a turquoisey blue.
Now you're asking questions a guy can't answer. Like, if they show me 3 palettes of blue, I'm just gonna say fucking blue. I can't answer what kind of blue, but it's blue.
I'll tell you what color blue it is. It's the I'm gonna fuck this goblin doll blue.
I'm gonna bruise it. That's how.
Well, I mean, I did turn it white for a
while.
Disgusting. All right, here we can put these away for now.
I mean, I have more, but
I think we got the gist of what we were looking at. So
yeah, you got the gist of it.
Well, my first question is, I guess the way we should do this is chronologically. So we'll start with Phil. Phil, can you explain what the process is when a customer comes to you and says, "I would like a goblin"?
Well, the first thing I usually start off with is I will assume that we're dealing with green-colored skin here, so we're going for a custom skin color. So if that's the case, if it's not the case, we can do blues, we can do largely anything that you want. But as we're going for Goblin, for example, I was going to go for an elven head because it has the pointed ears and it's a shorter doll than you don't want full size. You do actually want it to be shorter as a Goblin. So they're the, I suppose, otherworldly questions that I would have to ask because the rest of the stuff is largely the same. Like, what size do you want the areolas? What color do you want them? Do you want the color pigmented into the silicone, or do you just want it painted on? Pubic hair, all of that sort of usual stuff. So it's not as unusual as you might think. But there is they do have to do a trial run on the color. So they'll do like a small brief, and they'll do like a little sample for you and say, like, is that the color that you want? And they'll hold up this little sort of sample of silicon for you. And if you go, yeah, that works, then they go ahead with that.
And what was the back end? So, how many conversations with the customer will this typically entail? Is this something you cover in one, like, long either phone call?
It took
or
like 4
maybe,
days.
I mean, generally, I'll try and ask all the questions at the same time, but then it'll come back first of all, is the skin color all right? Then they'll want to pin down the areola color and vaginal color. And then if that's all fine, the rest of it's easy.
And then, Koopa, from your point of view as the customer, how was the process going back and forth with Phil?
When you want a short stack doll, you actually are very limited, surprisingly, on the types of models you can get. So the back and forth was going from deciding whether I wanted TPE or silicone, and I knew from the get-go I wanted silicone because, I wanted this thing to last, and also because, well, if you, I took this as a quote from Drexel. I actually took it to heart, which was, if you're gonna get a doll, pay the amount for the best doll. Because I remember you mentioned that when you first saw the music video with Mr. J Doll King Hef. He said, if you're gonna get a doll, get the best of the best. And well, I was gonna get a Goblin doll. I was gonna get the best of the best, and people always point towards silicon. So I wanted one that was silicon.
So describe like the texture. What about like the skin? Does it, people want to know like what does the skin feel like? What does the hair feel like? All that kind of stuff. Like,
Drexel. So that's actually why I paid extra, because the doll came with textured skin, so it actually feels like real human texture. So compared to TPE, I think, Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just a flat texture, and it's basically, it does feel like a doll.
Yeah, I mean, typically what will happen on just say your average silicon doll, it will actually have a slightly glossy appearance to it, and it will feel smoother, as you would expect a doll to feel. But with this textured skin, it mimics the idea of actually having pores in the skin. So it's not like this glossy glass-like finish to the skin. It's actually a lot more skin-like. You would have to really feel it to actually truly understand what I mean. But some of the cheaper silicon dolls that you can get, they do tend to have this almost sort of like gloss paint-like finish to them, and they're a little bit too shiny to be realistic. Whereas Koopa's has a nice finish to it, for a goblin, of course.
Really nice.
so what is the motivation to have a short doll? Because I told Anna had asked me on the Jack show, like, is this a goblin that is like a regular sized person, or is it like a short
It's
doll?
and it's 3'10". So it's literally a short stack doll. Okay, so one of the biggest reasons I wanted this was, one, it's a great starter doll because I'm a weak fat shit that I can't carry shit. So because it's 3'10", it doesn't weigh much. It's like, I think 30 pounds at max. So it's easy to carry around, and unlike other dolls, you don't have to put her on a wheelchair and haul her around. Just pick her right up, put her where you want, and either get to work or you put her away. That's the benefit of having a shorter doll, just because weight. For some people, the weight alone is a turn.
My question was more like accuracy. Like, is it going to be like a David Bowie Goblin King size doll, or is it like dark crystal, like those little creature size? So I see you went with the dark crystal size.
Dark crystal size, absolutely. God, I miss that movie.
Well, Koopa, there are people out there that have, they are inquiring minds and they have some penetrating questions and they want a very strong climax of a fucking answer. So we got some
Okay.
questions for you. First and foremost is, can you tell us, do you have light up tits?
No, unfortunately, no. I didn't even know about him. Had I known, Phil, I would have asked for the light of this. It would have made smashing in the dark much easier.
But then it feels like you're smashing on the Drex. Have you ever been out in the countryside, and you got the tail lights of the old '80s pickup truck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you grew up in the country like I did, but
Yeah. I've been out there with like pickup trucks and stuff. Yeah, you get the big, huge lights. Koopa won't need any of those. I have a feeling he finds his way to the Goblin because the Goblin might be attached to him. Now, Koopa, people have questions.
My junk is like a compass. It just knows where it's at. Where it needs to go.
Well, Leximus asked a question. So Mr. Leximus asks, does the Goblin self-lubricate? How does that work?
No. Matter of fact, Phil told me to go get lube, and unfortunately, I just couldn't hold myself back another 5 minutes to go pick up the lube.
Oh no!
I had to smash immediately. But no.
So friction burns were.
Yeah, I mean, what happened? I mean, did you rip the skin off your dick? What happened?
No, thankfully. But the next morning, I did have to walk with my legs apart a little bit, just to hopefully not touch anything.
Friction burn.
I didn't burn it off. It just stung for a bit.
You can go on Amazon and get a drum of lube. Ken Jennings, shout out to Ken Jennings. He enlightened me on that. By the way, everyone, the chat's asking where Cecil is. I haven't seen him hop into the Discord yet, so if I do see
think
him,
Anna said Cecil was he was like skiing or something.
Yeah, I sent him the link, but we'll see if he stumbles in, but I doubt it.
Yeah. This all you have to understand. This came together very quickly. Drex sends me the text while I'm like on the highway driving up to Red Deer, and I'm like, oh crap.
Well, so Koopa, okay, so you get the doll. It's your first day when you move to a new state. You went coast to coast. I'm assuming did Dollhouse Phil have like a special like little like encryption on it? What was like the box? Like, you open up the box. I'm assuming there's neighbors around. I mean, were you like a kid on Christmas? I mean, give us describe the feeling.
How do I describe the feeling? You ever were a kid and your parents just announced you're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese when Chuck E. Cheese was actually fun, and you're just sitting in the car acting all jittery and happy, and you're bouncing left and right, and then you start to see Chuck E. Cheese approach. The closer it gets, the more you're just ready to just hop out, and you just feel yourself jumping more and more. The closer your parental figure is able to park the car. The moment you hear the car go, and then you hear the car turn off, you throw the door open and immediately run inside. Let's just say the first thing I had to look for in all of my shit was a box cutter. And I threw all of my shit all over the place looking for this box cutter.
Okay, so how's it packaged? Did you have to be very careful with the box cutter so you didn't hit the doll by mistake?
No, it's actually within the box there was a styrofoam, literal styrofoam box with like a top, almost basically like a coffin, basically a sarcophagus of protection. So I could just cut it, and the more I hit, it's just gonna hit the I forgot the word for it.
Styrofoam.
The styrofoam. God damn it.
he spent more than 10 minutes away from the goblin. Now he's starting to get scatterbrained.
Yes. So packaged really well. It was actually a lot of styrofoam. I had to it was literally like unwrapping a Christmas present, because you open it and it was like a gag gift because I had to open another thing. And then the doll was wrapped in more styrofoam, so I had to unwrap it in styrofoam. And then the head was wrapped in separate styrofoam, and I had to unwrap that styrofoam. And I'm like, am I ever gonna bust a nut today? Or am I just gonna play patty cake with all this styrofoam? But eventually, I got her out, and in the box, I'm still confused what that pink, what looks like a pink dildo is for. But I finally figured out what that white dildo with a USB port is for. And I should have used it the first day because it is hard. Because looking back, that would have made things so much easier.
Go on. Because right now it sounds like sounds like it was a pegging tool.
It actually it's actually a stick that literally just warms up when you plug it into either to a socket or to a portable charger.
Oh, okay.
So it's a cold.
What is the temperature? Yeah, so I'm curious. What is the what is the doll temp? Like, I mean, does it have to be plugged in? Like, what is the I mean, room temperature? I mean, is it cold? Is it room temperature? Is it warm? Like, what is the temp of the doll?
When I got it finally, and I finally was able to pull it out of the box. It was, unfortunately, it happened to be the coldest fucking week in Georgia.
Oh.
No, the doll was cold. Now, it's hard to maintain a hard-on when it's cold.
Yeah, that's not a situation a lot of men come across,
I was waiting for a punchline, Tim. I was waiting for him to be like, it's hard to maintain a hard-on when it's cold. And I was waiting for like, but I managed. It's like, oh, fuck, man. Like, you smashed a cold doll.
No, I managed.
Wait, you smashed a cold doll?
Yeah, I warmed it up myself.
Friction warmed it up.
Friction warmed it up, and I naturally give off a lot of body heat, so I was all good. It was all good in the hood. Don't hold back the laughter, Jax. I'll let it out.
So you're sitting here with your little short stack while Anna's painting, and she's wondering about all the mysteries of the universe. And you have your first smash session on a cold doll on a cold day in Georgia. We didn't hear from you for 10 days straight. Can you describe the 10 days from the last time you sent a text message in our Discord to when you finally got back on the live chat and you were panting because you had just gone another round with the doll?
Let's just say there is not a single leftover bit of simp in my head because I literally fucked it to death.
He's accumulated like 17 days of post nut clarity.
Oh
yeah, and it's almost permanent. I just need a couple more sessions.
So okay, after like the first night, what's it like when you go to sleep that first time before you go on to an epic Genghis Khan level smash session? What happens after you got your doll, you smashed it cold because you are a sick human being, and then you go to sleep that night with I'm assuming you sleep with the doll now.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Huh. No.
So the doll has its own little has her own little place. Did you name her yet?
I'm not at that point with like TFM. I literally got this thing to be a way to relieve my stress. Not anything more than that.
So when's the wedding? Is you and the doll and Drex and Kat gonna have like a double wedding?
I don't know, Drexel. I didn't know that was happening. So do you want to send me that invite? I'll happily.
We'll do up a little poster like Ralph did for the Killstream wedding.
I'll have that little.
Maple is a one of the bridesmaids.
Now the goblin will throw that bitch out. The goblin will throw that bitch out and become the bridesmaids and put the flower petals on the floor because she's short enough for that.
Well, I'm assuming this is your only one, but Hoshioni asked, "Do you have others?"
I'm going to get another one, and I've already mentioned it to Phil when I joined you on the last live stream, the Valentine's Day. I'm gonna get a beautiful looking XY Colo Bridget doll that looks like Zelda from Legend of Zelda. So I'm gonna essentially, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna get me that 2.5.
He's got a little moblin from Zelda. Well,
He's
one of the
gonna
things
have
that
a harem of dolls in about a year.
right. So, Koopa, when you have this doll and you go out in public now, right? You said that it's basically like it's cleared. It's basically cured the thirst, right? Like it's purged the thirst. Can you describe what it's like, the difference between your life before the doll and then your life after the doll?
The life before the doll. It was a waste of a resource that I can never get back, no matter what I do. And you know what that resource is? It's time. When you're growing up, simping left and right, trying to hopefully get lucky, you're wasting time that you could have used for you. And now that I've gotten this thing, gotten the little Goblina, we'll stick to that Goblina. Now that I've gotten Goblina in my life, everything is much more clear. I go out to eat, I sit down, and I enjoy a meal at a restaurant, not to look at chicks, but to actually just enjoy the feeling of being in a restaurant. Especially because I wasn't allowed in restaurants in LA because fuck LA. But
So, do you find
or-
there's like a parallel between like the doll being, you're finally free and you left a shitty blue state for a red one where things are open? Did you kind of like find like there's kind of like just like a natural coincidence and irony in that, like, I'm free in two ways now that I have the doll and I'm in a different state.
yeah, when you really think about it, there's two ways I'm free. One, I can walk anywhere the fuck I want without that goddamn mask and without being yelled at about not wearing the fucking thing. And two, I can literally just talk to anybody, and even women, I can talk to any woman, and no, there's no simp in the back of my head going, maybe she's the one, maybe she's the one. It's like, dude, we took care of that. We took care of that. Because he's not in the back of my head doing that anymore. If he comes back, I always just have to go smash the doll again, and lo and behold, goes back into hiding, and
Well,
that voice is just not there anymore.
Well, how does there are people out there who say, I don't know, Phil, I don't know if the doll is for me. Can I need someone like a degenerate like Koopa to describe it so that Anna can tell Cecil? Did you go with a removable fleshlight pussy? You know what I'm saying? You have it for easy access, or did you get it built in like a pleb? Right? Can you detach it? Can you attach it? What is it? Is it already built in?
Unfortunately, this particular model that I got is only built in. I wanted the detachable one, so I didn't have to carry the fucking thing everywhere. But no, it's this particular model is built in. When I get the XY call that's the first thing I'm getting is the removable one. It's cleaning, taking the doll for cleaning. You have to carry the fucking thing everywhere, and I mean to the shower, and you get a great workout, but after a while you're just like, God, this is obnoxious.
It's almost like caring for a real woman.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. You gotta Drex, no matter what the relationship is, you do have to put work into it.
Yeah. You can't escape that. Now, people were asking.
If you get a TPE doll, even Phil will mention, like, you can, if you get a silicone, you don't have to do as much maintenance. But if you get a TPE doll, I think it was recommended once a month. You got to oil the thing, lather it with baby oil to keep the skin fresh. Otherwise, it's gonna just tear apart. So you do have to take care of your doll. Otherwise, you could end up, and of course, hygiene. If you don't take care of your doll, you're gonna end up like a dude on YouTube who did get a doll and then got a urinary infection because he didn't fucking clean it.
Yes.
Well, Koopa, Leximus has suggested a name for your doll, Goblina the Sloblina.
Phil likes that one.
Bowser did want to know if you have pubes or no pubes.
The pubes were extra. No.
So how do they do pubes? Phil, how do you guys do pubes on dolls?
Well, specifically this brand as such, they don't do implanted hair. So they just use silicone paints to paint the hair effect on, so it's not quite the same. But for most other brands, they'll actually implant the hair into the silicone or TPE for you. So you've got hair actually coming out of the doll itself. Because back in the day, they used to get like these pubic hair wigs that you would just stick on, like like I suppose like a fake beard kind of thing. You just use spirit gum and put that on your face. But now that they all do implantation, that has its pros and cons, because technically you still can rip the hair out of the doll. So you can end up with a bald patch if you're like super aggressive when using your doll. Yeah.
And if you're smashing hard enough, your Johnson can actually rip it without you even realizing it.
Well, Koopa, how hard did you go in with the doll? Like, give us an idea of the physical workout, the amount of calories you burn, how much you were sweating.
Okay, which one of you predicted I was going to lose 20 pounds?
Knowing who we have in the chat, it was probably a sick guy like Leximus.
Unfortunately, you're wrong. I lost 30.
That was all that water weight.
all that water weight. So you're saying,
Yeah.
would you say that the dolls are good for weight loss?
Okay, I'm not an exercise expert. If you want exercise information, go to Shasbury, which, by the way, shout out to him. Thank you so much for the workout ideas. I'm finally getting my health back in order. Yes, by lack of a better word, yes, because it. Drex, you said it yourself. Like, you gotta train, you gotta literally prepare yourself as if you're gonna go to the Olympics. And when you're ready to smash and you're gonna just go all in, you gotta go all in like you're Mike Tyson getting ready to knock a motherfucker out.
Yep.
Fact says Koopa thrusted his way to weight loss.
Well,
good.
one of the things that now, Koopa, the reason why I made those comments is because once upon a time I did that show with Q, and I discovered that the average sexual encounter was only if the average sexual encounter is only 3 to 5 minutes. And I was thinking to myself, what kind of woman would ever accept that? And here you are, I'm assuming you're doing like very intense sessions over and over. What do you think that's the difference between the goblin and having a real girl?
Okay, so the first weekend, I'll just say this. The first weekend I finally got to smash the doll, I smashed Friday night, 8:00, and when I was finally like so tired I couldn't even move my legs to get up, I looked outside and I'm like, oh fuck, is that the sun? I got no sleep that night. And I
So you did an all-nighter with the goblin.
I did an all-nighter, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get groceries, but I'm so fucking sleepy.
And Phil, you warned us that this was going to happen.
Oh yeah, so the honeymoon period, I mean, admittedly, it's different for most guys, but like when you've got these levels of pent up sexual frustration, this was just going to be a big case of Hulk smash, Hulk smash, Hulk smash,
until Hulk can't smash anymore.
How's the bed, Koopa? Do you need to replace a couple of posts?
Well, the only thing that took damage was me and the first when that 2 days after, my shoulder was hurting like a motherfucker. So I guess I threw out my shoulder. I don't know how.
Damn.
It's funny. You don't feel that you hurt yourself until the next day.
Yeah, I was like, the fuck? Why does my shoulder feel like it hurts? What the hell?
Oh, well, Phil, how does Koopa's experience rank with the guys that you've talked to who have bought dolls? Do they go on marathon sessions, or do they, space it out a little more?
It'll get a bit more spaced out, I would say, the older that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got the full spectrum of guys buying dolls. This isn't like just solely a young man's game. But more so for the young men, I'll often tell them, right, you're going to hit the honeymoon period sort of like full on, and you're going to be at it. You're going to lose a lot of fluids, but you're going to gain a lot of sort of like body muscle, which is all good. But give it a couple of months, and then you'll probably start to realize that because you're spent all of the time, which I think is a more polite way to put what Koopa's been experiencing, you don't really have any tolerance anymore for like shit tests and like just women's general shit. And you'll find that it's kind of, you got no time for it anymore. You'll notice it, you'll see it, because there's no simpery going on in the back of your brain. And you'll see it coming, and you'll be able to like dance around that quite easily.
With a doll, you literally fuck the simp out of you.
Yeah.
Like, you like, that's basically the best way I can. That's the best way I can say it. You fuck the simp out of you, and when you go anywhere, you're just like, meh. And you see an attractive girl, you'll point it out. Yeah, she's attractive, but will you simp for her? Nope. I'm gonna go continue getting my groceries.
Yeah, this is one of the great advantages of being a new doll owner. Once you go through this, because like all the guys, prospective doll owners, look at me and go, "Yeah, Phil, that's just the sales spiel that you're giving me," and they all come back a couple of months later and say, "No, you were right. It does change."
Oh,
It does.
Well, Koopa, we got a question for you from Bowser. He asked if you got breast pouches where you can shoot whiskey out of the nipples. Phil was really talking up that feature.
Fuck, I should have gotten that feature.
All right, would you
Put Gatorade in the nipples, right? It's just like I need to fill back up.
I would have put orange juice. Just to make the Rick and Morty joke, I would have put the orange juice in there, so I didn't have to run to my
yeah.
So I didn't have to run into my kitchen to get the orange juice. I just, all right, I'm thirsty.
Hey Phil, is there a way I could put a compartment in like her right hip where like a snack tray slides out?
Now we're going into cyborg levels of territory here now, aren't we? Maybe that's your kink.
At the end of the day, Phil, I'm pretty sure like all the guys who want the robotic feature, I don't think they want this shit to talk. Just because at the end of the day, they just want her to get in position and ride them like a bucking bronco, and that's all they want.
This has been my point for a long time, and I've had a lot of. It tends to be younger men saying, "Oh yeah, I wanted to be able to walk, talk, and do all of these things," and it would horrify me for my sex robot to be so busy doing something else, be it housework or whatever, that it didn't have time to have sex with me, and that's the primary function of your sex robot.
Drex, I like how Koopa is one doll in, and now he's the expert.
Yeah,
he got his first doll, and now he's giving everyone else advice. Trust me, guys, I'm the expert.
I'm not an expert. I'm far from an expert. Go to TFM for all your dog questions, if anything, because he's had Celestina far longer than I've had Goblina here. But no, the way I look at it with robotics and getting a doll to start behaving, I don't want a repeat of an old Greek story. You guys remember that story, right? A guy creates a statue, and this is a great allegory. Guy creates a statue of a beautiful woman. Is like, oh, this is amazing. I want her to be real though, and he prays to the goddess. Is like, please let her be real. And the goddess is like, all right, I'll make her real. And then halfway through the week, he's like, fuck, I don't want her around anymore. She's annoying. Please make her a statue again.
Damn.
Yeah, so as you were saying about the whole talking feature, I'm in the same position as you. I hear so many men that are just trying to get away from the talking of the women in their lives. So why you want a sex doll, sex robot that can talk? I don't get it.
Yeah, for TFM, that's there is a much deeper psychological thing going on in his head for that. And he's put a ton of work into that Kajiwodo program.
Yeah, well, he's got it's like mother abandonment issues, and he admits to that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm okay with it because if you know what, if that's your way of having the doll, if you really want to give her that personality, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially it's either that or what the worst thing that can happen to TFM is, we can think of many horrible things that could happen to TFM. If he didn't have Celestine, if he didn't have the Kajiwodo AI, he could have ended up a cuck, for lack of a better word. The world would have forced him into that role. And as it stands, we're in a point where if you're not a Drexel, the world's going to force you into being a cuck.
Into being a Ron.
into being a Raw.
Well, that's what it wants. It wants guys to be that, and Phil is providing this service, and the beauty of it is that he's doing God's work because like guys finally have an outlet, right, for the first time in human history, really. And we got a question from Tack because he has to know, because we have to know. You've been smashing for now over 2 weeks straight. He needs to know if the doll is pregnant yet.
Unfortunately, we haven't gotten there with technology. If we had gotten there with technology, I would probably have like 17 to 18 kids running around, little goblin kids.
Is that how that works?
I don't fucking know. Goblins may be short. You don't ever know if they give birth within half the time.
Phil, we need artificial wombs. Get on it, Phil.
Indeed, we do. But I wouldn't put them in a doll though. I'd have a separate little robot just for that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess you would want the incubator, right?
Yeah.
Well, the incubators. Well, just make the incubator a separate thing. It's just like, all right, bust the nut, put it in the incubator. All right, this doll is still going to be smashable. So just take the doll and go smash it when we're ready to go.
I feel sorry for all the pregnant fetish guys out there that can't. Like, well, now wait a second, Phil. You can make a pregnant doll, can you?
Yeah, we can get them for you. Yeah.
Yeah, like Phil, is there anything you can't do? Like realistically, if the budget, let's say the budget's unlimited, there's pretty much.
Oh, in that case, yeah, anything is possible. It's just a case of do you have enough budget to pay for it?
Yeah, what's your kink? What's your fetish? Phil will make it happen.
Well, as long as it's legal. As long as we have to say that, as long as it's legal.
I guess. I bet Phil could make a doll big enough to swallow you. For those people who are into that.
Okay, the fucking the vor fetish.
Yeah, vor. Yeah,
I've seen vor. That shit's fucking weird.
Wait,
Drex, you don't know about vor?
Oh my god,
No,
I know a chick
what?
that has that fetish. I don't get it.
Oh no, Anna.
No, it's just like a sexual, like, I don't know, it's like you get turned on sexually by the idea of somebody swallowing you whole, right? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Like
literally swallowing you. Like literally putting you in their mouth and then you ending up in their intestinal body and ending up in their stomach.
Or inserting you into any of their other orifices.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a kink out there where you fantasize about being your person, your body, inserted into like an Amazon woman's vagina.
How am I the degenerate? Like, you think Goblin Amputee is the worst shit I've seen? There's that too.
Anna, what do you think about a guy who's into Goblin Amputee porn? I'm just
honestly,
curious.
that's not the weirdest shit I've seen, because I've lived in San Francisco for a long time.
Thank you!
I don't know. I think furry shit is like weirder than the goblin thing, because
That's how we always go back to the furries. Always.
You can do furry.
Well, I mean, the goblin thing is kind of like a fantasy, right? Like you just want to fuck like this fantasy creature. And I think Star Trek like desensitized me to all that because it's just a bunch of aliens and like people that are into each other. So like a goblin, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Captain Kirk was the original Goblin Slayer. There,
exactly.
He was fucking all them aliens.
Clapping alien cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, someone. Oh,
why?
God damn it, facts.
Uh-oh.
He put the furry for porn there.
See, we've said this, Drex. Furry is the modifier to any kink. Take a kink, add furry, and you've made it worse.
Yeah,
there are furry diaper fetishes.
Oh God. Look, I've already relinquished my title to Shaft's furry, and I'm pretty sure Shaft has already relinquished the degeneracy title to the diaper guy.
Yeah. We gotta get the diaper guy on sometime.
Yeah, he is great because he knows he willingly admits that he needs to go up against the wall.
He said, "But take care." I like how he's self-evident. He at least knows, but the only request he has: Furries go first.
Furries go
Yeah.
first because furries are the lowest level of degeneracy and scum. Now, Koopa, one of the things is though, you get the doll. What can you say to the guys out there who don't have a doll yet? What would you tell them?
If you're considering a doll and your ass cannot lift 50, 60, 70 pounds, definitely talk to Phil about getting one of the more shorter ones as a starter doll. Because Phil, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of requests, but then sendbacks. I mean, you're sitting in front of a sendback of somebody who got the doll, but had to send it back because they weren't fit enough to carry it.
Yeah, I mean the manufacturers can play a bit fast and loose with the truth on this one because they list this one here to be something like 36 kilograms, and it's actually closer to 45, 46. So you're getting towards 90 to 100 pounds. So there's a fair bit of weight on that doll. I can break a sweat when I'm moving her around.
I bet Drex, that's like the average weight of a lot of the women in the lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, at the
100
end of the
pounds,
day,
right around
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, one of the things people forget though is that when you're lifting a real woman, they're helping you lift them. You know what I'm saying? Like the human body knows how to make itself light. Dead weight.
Yeah, and here you're dealing with dead weight. Dead weight.
Yeah. That dead weight is nasty, man.
I mean, okay. I will say this though: if you're training to be a firefighter, get a doll. Best way to train to be a firefighter because you're going to be carrying people. You're going to be carrying people. If you can carry a doll that's like 120 pounds, with no problem, you're going to carry humans into safety even better.
I don't know if I know that my firefighters had a doll across his shoulders. Just let me burn. Just let me burn.
Why though?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't know.
It feels weird.
Technically, you don't know how any of the firefighters got in shape, so they could have all just been banging dolls.
Great. Now you put the doubt in my mind. Next time I'm pulled out of a car by a firefighter, it's just like, hang on a second. Have you been vetted?
Hey, Anna, what questions do you have for Phil? Because surely you know some ladies out there who would love a doll, and maybe even a Henry Cavill doll, right? That's just a random name I pulled out. Yeah. What would you say about asking the ladies about them getting a man or woman doll from Dollhouse Phil?
I mean, at least the ones that I know would want a doll. I think it's more you could just get dildos or vibrators. That's kind of simple way. I think most women just want a boyfriend that's actually just I don't know, a little maid that's out there beck and call, which I don't like the cyborg thing. I think they just want that.
A girl gets a 6-foot dildo and nobody bats an eye. A guy gets a goblin doll and everybody loses their fucking mind.
The double standard.
That's right. Everyone goes crazy. This is crazy.
About 50% of the women who do get dolls do opt for a female doll. And I think a part of that is due to the fact that they're lighter than the male dolls. But then women can actually enjoy playing dress up with the doll as well. So she can put her own clothes on the doll and say, "Oh, so that's what I look like from behind," kind of idea.
Ooh, wow! I never thought of that.
So, do you get a lot of women that buy dolls?
There isn't an awful lot of them, but of those that do, there's only a very select few who will actually get a male doll. And of those that have got male dolls, most of those have actually got female dolls as well. So yeah, I tend to feel I'm more likely to sell a male doll to a gay guy than I am a heterosexual woman.
Drex, I think we just solved one of the world's biggest problems. When these married guys, right? She tries something on. She's like, "Does this make my ass look fat?" Just convince her to buy a doll.
Yeah.
No, honey. No. Trust me on this one. The doll will benefit you too.
Oh yeah. You always gotta sell it to her like that.
Dude, you remember that? You remember that story that I think it was Undead Chronic who did it. It was a guy who got a doll and the chick went on Reddit because the guy is now only smashing the doll and not giving her any attention.
Yep. Anna, I got a question for you. What do you think about the future? The Blade Runner future that the society will go in, What do you think is women's level of competition with the dolls
I don't know.
going
I'm probably
forward?
the worst person to ask because I've been in a relationship for so long. But seeing how women react to it online, like they're super sensitive. Like I was on a podcast and like these girls are like, "I won't date a guy that watches porn," and I'm like, "Every fucking man watches porn, girl. If he's telling you he's not watching porn, he's lying, right? So you want to date a
Every single
liar?
one.
Like, give me a break." So I'm not worried about it, but I feel like a lot of chicks are nowadays, and I don't know why. Yeah, sorry, that's me.
Oh, look, it's a Facebook call. Oh yeah, you're all good. My brother called me earlier, and I had that little ringtone.
I think I can scrub that out.
Well, one of the things that amazes me is this double standard, and Koopa, we'll get you out of here with this. What do you think about the double standard, and how it's going to make it look for guys like you who want dolls in the future?
The double standard in what way? This double standard that women are allowed all the
Yeah,
dildos
five
and
5,000 toys in a drawer, and then a guy just gets one, and everyone loses their fucking mind.
I think it's bullshit. You know what? If at the end of the day you got to remember, like, does that doll make the guy happy? If the answer is yes, leave him alone. You know. Um,
There's a long-term perspective to take on this one. Because women have their entire drawer full of sex toys, no one bats an eyelid. And I'm not going to harp on about the hypocrisy of that. But then if men start getting dolls, so they can be sexually satiated, even without getting involved with one another. But that scratches your sexual itch, but you do actually have a yearning as a person to like socialize with other human beings. So there will be some interaction between men and women still. But I think if the sexual tension is completely erased, which should happen with the use of sex toys like these, I think men and women might actually get together because they actually enjoy each other's company and get like kind of hook up in that respect a bit more, which would be better in the long run because there's too many guys hooking up with too many girls and they're not right for one another. They're just in it for the sex.
oh my God, the misery you see. I mean, that's actually the biggest reason I got the dolls, because like you don't know what you're talking to. You don't know the type of woman you're talking to. You don't know if they've been ran through by everybody in the college campus, and you don't want to be the guy that wipes up the people's vagina. You never want to be that.
Nope.
I mean, there's it always weirded me out. Like I know there's a lot of guys who think that, like, there's some guys that think that in order for them to be happy they have to have the one, and I have seen that notion backfire with one guy in my family who's essentially basically been disowned at this point. He's in Chirac. Last I heard, he was under a bridge, but throughout his life, he was never happy. But he always kept saying, "Man, if I just had a kid, I could raise it, and I could be a better dad than my dad was." And he has a kid. Kid's now part of the system.
Yep.
At the end of the day, guys have to think about what makes them happy. And unfortunately, the simp that always makes them simp is blinding them to the idea that they have to find what it is that makes them happy. It 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 the simp in the back of their head is telling them that to be happy, you have to create the family. If for some people it works, that's great. But for some other people, that doesn't work. You're not going to be happy until until you yourself can look in the mirror and say, "Yeah, I'm happy."
Koopa, do you have a
Fucking
TV running in the background? I'm picking up something on someone's mic.
yeah, I have the TV on. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's for to keep the dog from barking.
Ah.
could you like turn that down?
Now,
just a
Koopa,
tad
that
bit?
begs the question: how's the doll reacted to the doll or the goblin? How's your dog reacted to the goblin?
I don't know. My dog is a fucking weirdo. He's basically a cat. Saw it, looked at it, smelled it for a bit, and then was like, "All right, I'm gonna go to bed."
You know,
Damn.
Drex, they say pets always are like their owners.
Yeah, right now, Koopa, I gotta ask the question, man. What happens if, for whatever reason, you're out at work and you come home from a hard day, and your dog is going ahead and clapping the Goblina?
Not happening. Not happening. No. I've when I have my sessions, right after session, of course, I clean the doll because you got to clean right after. Otherwise, fungus is going to build up, and it's not going to be usable anymore. You're going to end up getting an infection. So right after the session and after cleaning, I just put her back in the box, go to bed, and then go to work and wait for the next weekend.
But damn, Koopa, thanks for coming on and giving us this doll review. And I mean, you're a great salesman. Phil is a great salesman. I mean, Koopa has provided the pitch. Anna has provided letting us know that, hey, this is a double standard. And guess what? Guys, get your dolls. Girls, keep your toys. Society is what it is. Since I'm not there for wifey's birthday, I will probably go to Phil and send Phil. I'm going to need you to send her a Drex doll. I can't see the wife for her birthday, right? So I'll just go ahead and send the doll. It would just be a carbon copy of me.
I can think there's a good Iron Tech, which would be a pretty good approximation of you.
Nice.
Can you make one in LeBron James?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll get go ahead and get LeBron in the house with his doll form.
No, I want to make LeBron because if it's manufactured in China, it would be perfect.
I'm actually curious. Phil, has somebody requested the climate change girl? What the fuck was her name?
Oh, Greta Thunberg.
Oh God,
yes,
no!
I'm pretty sure,
no.
Dude. He's got those requests.
Phil, pigtails.
The
pigtails. That's the first thing that came into my mind. It's like they'll probably need to get the implanted hair on the head, and I'll bet they rip those pigtails out.
Hey Phil, what do they make the hair out of? So the implanted pubic hair, do they shave someone's pubes and put those in?
For your average dolls, it's just kind of like an acrylic hair. Now, for the higher end dolls, when you're starting to look at sort of like $4,000 to $5,000 plus, you can opt for synthetic hair or actual human hair.
Just don't let German Shepherds find out, or they'll come kill you for it.
Oh God, yeah. Now, Phil, I always wonder, man, if someone gets the Greta doll, right? What happens when the Greta doll gets the AI chip implanted? And as you're trying to smash, how dare you?
Everyone's going to want that.
Everyone's going to want it. Anna, what do you think about that? What do you think about when guys start demanding that their dolls are modeled after real people and their catchphrases? What do you think about that?
Drexel, it kind of already happened.
I would think that's already a thing.
Wait,
yeah, there was a guy who spent. Well, the AI part, no, but there was a guy who paid, I think it was like $30,000, and he got a very high end doll that looked exactly like Scarlett Johansson.
Oh no, that's what it cost him. He built it himself.
Yeah.
So Phil can do it cheaper and better.
Damn.
Likely. I mean, to be honest, I'm having another custom head modeled based on some photographs, and they do guarantee you at least an 80% likeness, but it'll never be a 100%.
Yeah.
Just in case they get into trouble with courts.
Have you gotten a lot of celebrity requests over the years, like athletes, movie stars?
I've had more computer game characters than anything else, to be honest.
Makes sense.
It's a lot of the younger guys today, they've all got a crush on some computer game character.
Yeah,
because of course everybody wants to smash Mercy from Overwatch. Final review, I guess I'll say Goblin 4 out of 5, and it's only because Phil, if there's one thing I want standardized with all doll manufacturers, it's the hands. Because the wires poked through and stabbed me in the chest the other night, and
well, Koopa, what has been your goblin body count? You've been smashing the doll. What is the body count that you think you're at with the doll?
Give or take about. I lost count after 70.
This is a fucking degenerate.
He's
I
got like
love it.
30,000 miles on this thing already.
I was gonna say, I mean, Koopa, you're doing all nighters. That
And
counts
I
as one
will
session.
fuck 5,000 miles, and I will fuck 5,000.
Oh, Koopa, you're the best. Anna, thanks for coming out. Dollhouse Phil, always a pleasure. Producer Tim, this is what we live for: is degeneracy highlighted right here. A place to be just as toxic and crazy and anti cuck as humanly possible, because that's what society is going to claim, right? That you're the bad guy.
Yeah, I want this to be a regular feature, guys. Let us know in the comments. Do you want us to bring Phil on maybe once every 2 weeks to come and do the doll review?
I was gonna say, do you want me? Because I am getting that XY color. Do you want me to do a second review show?
Oh, 100%.
Halfway through the year.
And what's the difference between doll 1 and doll 2? Yeah, we need doll details. Anna wants to know, of course, how big she can get the doll.
Answered. Why goblins? What was the attraction to the goblin?
That's his kink.
I know, but like, how did you get to the goblin level? You know,
how did you get to the amputee? Captain Chokehold wants to know why do they have to be amputee?
They don't. Well, when you're going down the hub and you've been one of those guys, what do they call them? Coomers? When you've been the coomer all your life, going into Pornhub before they tucked out and deleted all of the worst degenerate stuff. So right now they have degenerate stuff, but it ain't the worst of the worst like it was before. So I'll just say the best way I could put it is if you find yourself at Bridget the Midget, you know you may have gone a bit too far. And then when you click that category that's cartoon, you're getting a little too far. And then when you find the goblin stuff, that's when you know you're basically at the point of no return.
At least you didn't go furry. Even though you've gone this far down the rabbit hole, you didn't go to the furries. We salute you.
No, I mean I've seen some of the weird, like I said, you see weird shit when you click that fucking cartoon category on the hub, and God, I hate that while I was exploring that shit, I saw way too much of that My Little Pony shit.
There might be a bit of a strain of this coming out. I just recently supplied an Elsa beb to a UK customer. Now, there's no actual fur involved, so it is just still a silicone doll, but it's got that sort of furry look, you know, like where you've kind of crossed the human face and say the cat face. So it's kind of got the animalistic snout.
I see that picture you posted. That thing looked fucking weird. Yeah. I saw that thing.
Phil's posted a picture of a Sarah Jessica Parker doll. Had literally the horse head.
Yes. Yeah, the climax doll. Yeah, that's. I haven't seen too many others like that. I have to admit, that was one of a kind.
Well, Anna, thank you very much for joining us for this pure degeneracy. Was it everything you had hoped for?
You know what? I think it was more. I'm just.
This is a little too much.
Anna, would you like to touch the doll? Like when we finally get a chance to meet up, you can have a doll. You can like touch the skin and its little goblin hands.
Oh God!
Sit it right next to Yoda, to Baby Yoda.
Correct. Look at the Tyrone text. This is one of the dolls Phil supplied. That shit looks weird to me, dude. Like I thought my goblin was weird.
Wait, has anyone asked you to make like a Yoda doll, Phil? Like, have you done any like Star Wars alien dolls?
I haven't as yet, and I'm surprised. That's
like I would think that people would want like a Twi'lek or something.
Hey, Anna, I just sent something to you.
I've the Twi'leks.
Okay.
I do know someone who got a regular doll and then got the headpiece. He had the skin color in that sort of like blue green that they kind of have, and he made it look really quite good. But it was as much work for him as it was for the factory. But he made it work.
I mean, for those who are willing to do the cosplay thing, get a regular one and then start doing the cosplays. Because if you do what I did, cosplay is a little limited with a green screen doll.
Oh, God damn it. There's more stuff going into chat. That's all the time we have for today, everyone. See you next week. All jokes aside, Anna, thanks again. Do you have any final questions or words before we sign off?
Not that I can think of, but I bet after we go off air, I'll think of a million questions.
Send them
all to
Drexel.
Drexel.
We'll get them answered. That's what we
I mean, I'm
strive
willing to do a
at least that.
follow-up show.
Oh, don't worry. I'm doing a show on the Jack
Hold on,
show
we're
with
gonna have
Anna
to
and the
get
gang.
Cecil on here.
Yeah, Cecil
Yeah.
and J-Dog
Yeah.
Hefner. Or J-Dog Hefner.
Oh, they're gonna yell at me for not asking all these questions that I can't think of at the moment.
Of course, Phil. Pleasure as always. Big friend of the Migtown podcast here, and I mean, this could be the start of Phil's very own show.
Yeah, people want to go behind the scenes with Phil and see how these dolls are made, to touch them, interact with them.
Oh, we got to do a how it's made segment. You remember that
Yeah,
show
walk
on
us through.
Discovery?
Does people actually want to see that, or do they just want to see the jiggle test on the breast?
No, people want to see how are these things made, like how feet, hands, the materials used. Like people are always asking that, like how does it feel? They always ask how does it feel, right? Does everyone always ask you that first? Like how does it feel?
Feels amazing.
Yeah, I mean they do generally. Weirdly, it's more the women will just gravitate straight for the breasts, and they won't ask. They'll just reach out and grab them, and they'll have like a quick honk on them. Whereas a guy knows like he has to ask first.
I was honking so much I made a
Me Too
symptom.
has conditioned us that way, Drex.
Yep.
I was honking them tits so hard. Honk, 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 honk.
You can almost wire up like I don't know, Guitar Hero or something into that, and you could like play songs with it.
Don't give me ideas.
Anyways,
Now you've had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
oh boy. On that note, Drex, I think we're done for tonight.
There it is, man. I hope you guys enjoyed and got your first doll review. We'll be back with more. Stay toxic, Kings.